Okay, Alan, do you want to say who you are and where you're from?
Yeah, I'm Alan Miller. I'm co-founder of the Together Association.
And what does Together do you want to say?
Well, Together was formed when Boris Johnson said we're going to have Freedom Day, and by the way, we're going to have vaccine passports. So Together is about the voice of the public being heard, not having impositions made on us, not having draconian measures, limits, restrictions, certainly not lockdowns, and having free speech and ensuring that we get to have our voices heard. And we are really passionate about making sure the public gets to have their voices heard, and that means that we have proper open debate and discussion, full scrutiny, and not the kind of authoritarian technocratic measures that have been happening for the last few years.
And you've been putting a lot of pressure in for pro-freedom causes. What's some of the pro-freedom causes you've been fighting?
Yeah, well, especially after the lockdowns, after challenging the vaccine mandates and the lockdowns, we've continued to say that, if the British public decide they want to have impositions, let's have a proper assessment of them. Let's say what these are going to mean. Low traffic neighbourhoods, low emission zones. But, that's not what's happening. What's happening is these measures are being imposed. We're being told, well, it's, the smart people have decided it's for the good for everyone on very spurious foundation. We've been lied to with people like Sadiq Khan making up numbers, 4,000 deaths, interfering with science, with smears from mainstream media, being called all sorts of things. But the public is fed up with it, and it's water off a duck's back. And we're determined not to allow those things to stop us. So it's meant that we've had all sorts of measures passed. The Department of Transport stopped funding livable streets and low traffic neighbourhoods. The Prime Minister, he won't be a Prime Minister for long, but the Prime Minister ordered an inquiry into low traffic neighbourhoods. We know that the COVID inquiry, probably not worth the paper it's written on, but the fact that we can get these issues addressed and that we get the press involved, that we get elected representatives, but the main thing is we're a grassroots organisation, so we get the public out, we organise locally, regionally, nationally. We continue to do that to make sure that we are not just getting nudged, having fear PR, now avian flu, we're all going to there's a sense in which with the WHO, the World Health Organization, international health regulations, and our own Public Health Act, right? The Public Health Act, that it wasn't the WHO, it was our Public Health Act that was used to lock us down, that there's a kind of knee-jerk reaction to lock down, impose, mandate. We're not interested in all of that. We're going to have our voices heard, and we invite everyone to get involved with us.
What do you see happening if people don't fight back against the system?
Well, I mean, the thing is, right, that if you just accept that it's all a foregone conclusion, it will be. You'll be right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you say there's nothing we can do, it's all planned, it's all done, everyone's this and that, you're a sheep or stupid, then we might as well give up. In fact, we're doing the work for the people who wanted to lock us down. And if you believe that we are conscious agents, that we're able to curate in the world, we're able to improve things, we're able to basically sculpt the kind of future that we want to see with one another. And that's really important, that we have honest conversations, that we talk about tough issues like our views on the situation with free speech, our ability to talk about difficult things that people get upset about. What's our question on what the government and the state is doing about borders? What about digital ID? What about cash? What about being able to offend people, but being legally able to do that and not have your banks shut down? And what about surveillance? All these issues. What about the discussion about the world and the situation and our own impact on it, and not just being smeared or shut down or cancelled? Let's be grown up, right? Let's be able to do those things. And the Great British Weather, we're meant to be boiling and melting down. They've told us we're all going to melt, and it's raining in June.
So you've been able to speak to Nigel Farage today.
Yeah.
Do you want to say what you spoke about and what it was like speaking to him?
Yeah, well, they feel like these are hailstones. This is fantastic. So Nigel Farage came down. I think, firstly, we're speaking to a lot of people along the coast here, and it looks like the majority of people are saying they're going to vote for Nigel Farage and reform here in Clacton, the constituency. We're talking about motorbikes and cars. There's 37 million car drivers in Britain and 1.5 million motorbikers. They all vote, and they're very concerned about the internal combustion engine bans, the idea that petrol and diesel cars and engines are going to be banned, electrification, without, again, proper scrutiny, right? I mean, electrification, where the cobalt, the copper, where does it come from? The mining, young children, the fact that you use furnaces and carbon to create these things, the whole situation of the weight of them setting on fire, breaking more things on the roads and car parks. What happens when you can't use them after a short period of time? The cost to replace them, where do they go? These are all discussions, right? We should have them, and you know, electrification points and what that all means, right? Because all these buzzwords come out, but what's the reality of it? Carbon has enabled us to have wealth, right, across the world, to transform ourselves. What we need to do is think about the next 100 years, next 500 years, bold planning, innovation, investment, but have the public at the heart of it. That's the thing, right? Now, what was interesting today is that Nigel Farage came down. We asked all the candidates to come and speak to us and have an interview. Some couldn't make today or the Times, but hardly anyone responded. But he came down and he addressed the bikers and said his views on the net zero situation and on, you know, shouldn't be banning these things. And I think it's really important that we do this up and down the country, that we get in front of candidates. We've got a Together pledge on net zero that insists on transparency. Every Democrat should sign it and go out, and we've got 5 pledges that we've asked all of our members and supporters to go to candidates with and put it to them about care, healthcare, and the NHS as well, about free speech and debanking and platforming, about the Public Health Act, the WHO, key things about our situation, our privacy, our rights, our autonomy. So we'd encourage everyone to do that. It's not just about the election though, obviously. We campaign throughout the year, 360 approach, grassroots, local, regionally, nationally, and we encourage everyone to get involved in that project.
And before we drown, what's your message to anyone who's thinking of signing up to Together?
Get involved. We need you. Your voice is going to make a difference. We're always better. We're always stronger. We make this world together.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.